Hello everyone, this is Rabbitearsblog and welcome to my TV show review series. Today's TV show that I will review is on one of Nickelodeon's most popular Nicktoons during the 90s, Rugrats. Rugrats premiered on Nickelodeon in 1991, and it aired on the same day as Doug and the Ren and Stimpy Show, making it a part of the original 3 Nicktoons to air in 1991. It was also created by Arlene Klasky, Paul Germain, and Gabor Supel, who were part of the animation company Klasky Supel, which was responsible for creating most of the Nicktoons, such as The Wild Thornberrys and All Our Monsters, throughout the 90s. It was also considered the longest-running Nicktoon to air on Nickelodeon, well, until SpongeBob SquarePants came on. Now, before I get into what I liked and hated about the show, I would like to give a brief summary on the show. Basically, this show details the adventures of the 4 main babies: Tommy Pickles, the leader of the group, Chucky Finster, the scaredy cat of the group, and twins Phil and Lil DeVille. Many of the episodes were focused on the 4 main babies going on random adventures, whether they are in their own backyard or inside the house, and letting their imaginations get the best of them whenever they discover something new and different, such as conquering their fears of a new bed or facing a monster in the garage. Joining them are Angelica Pickles, Tommy's older cousin, who is often seen bullying the babies by telling them frightening things about the real world, and Susie Carmichael, another toddler who is the same age as Angelica, but is often friendly towards the main babies. Later on in the series, we are introduced to 2 new babies, which are Dill Pickles, Tommy's new baby brother, and Kimmy Fister, Chucky's new stepsister. What can I say? Rugrats was essentially the Nicktoon I grew up with throughout the 90s, so this show was very special to me in every way possible. One of the things that I really enjoyed about the show was the fact that it focuses on babies as the main characters, and how we see their perspectives on the real world. It's rare that I ever saw a show that focused on babies, since I have seen many shows that we see from the world from a child's perspective, but it's usually an older child's rather than a baby's view on the world. What made the show truly unique to me was that we get to see the babies explore the real world through their imaginations, and sometimes their imaginations will be either hilarious or scary. I think it really helped provide an interesting concept for the show, for children who also misunderstood the real world bit and used their imaginations to figure out what is real and what is not real in the real world. I also love how the earlier episodes, the atmosphere of the babies' adventures would have a surreal and dreamy feel, which really made the episodes even more interesting, considering that the babies are still in their own backyard or inside the house, whenever they start imagining various activities that would happen in the real world. However, this just makes us, the viewers, actually believe that the Rugrats are actually in a separate world whenever their imaginations go wild, and I thought that was pretty impressive for a children's show to explore into. I also enjoy the humor in this show, as it was really hilarious hearing the babies often mispronounce various words that they hear from the adults, such as calling explorers egg explorers, and I also found this to be very cute because in real life, small children sometimes mispronounce certain words they hear from adults if they don't understand the full meaning of the word. I know that I often mispronounced many words when I was younger because I didn't really understand the meaning of the words myself until my parents explained it to me. Probably the best part about the show is the characters themselves, as they are truly unique and a joy to watch. I really love the 4 main babies, Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil, as they show so much enthusiasm whenever they are going on various adventures they have in every episode. Tommy Pickles was a great character for me, as he was shown as the leader of the group, and I like how he showed no fear when he was going on these adventures, as it made him into a truly memorable character for the show. Chucky Finster was also another fantastic character in the show, as he may be the scaredy cat of the group, since he normally doesn't want to go on any of the adventures that the babies want to go on, but he is willing to help out his friends if they are in danger. I also love Chucky's relationship with Tommy, as Tommy may be the brave baby while Chucky's easily scared, but they truly look out for each other whenever they're in danger, and it just shows how strong their friendship with each other really is. I really love both Phil and Lil DeVille, since they are probably the most interesting characters in the show. For one thing, it might be strange and disgusting that they eat bugs, but to me, that just made their personalities even more interesting to look at. I also strongly relate to them because I also have a twin, and it was so cute to see them say things at the same time during certain situations. Angelica Pickles was a truly memorable character, as she is shown to be the big bad bully of the show. I like the way that Angelica brought some tension to the show, as she would often tell the babies scary things that happen in the real world, which would occasionally cause the main babies to go on adventures to find out if anything that Angelica says is actually true. Then you have Susie Carmichael, who kind of serves as Angelica's polar opposite, as she is friendly towards the babies and actually tells them reassuring things about the real world. I found the idea about two toddlers that both have different perspectives on the real world and related to the babies to be really interesting, and it added a sort of depth to the series, where we can see two different views on the real world, the scary version and the reassuring version. I also really liked all of the adults in the show, as it was interesting seeing them be a bit unaware of what the Rugrats are really doing whenever they go on their adventures, since it causes hilarity in the situations they're in. I also like the fact that whenever the adults actually spend time with the kids, they usually try to reassure the kids that nothing in real life is as scary as they perceive it. I like the fact that this show shows us that even though the adults don't understand the Rugrats since they are babies, we are able to understand them and see how they perceive the world. Even though I stopped watching Rugrats by the time Dill was introduced, I did like the idea about the show trying to present the idea about how a child handles having a new sibling when Tommy was faced with taking care of Dill in the later episodes. I also like the fact that this show looked at the idea of having a step-family as a positive thing when Chucky gets a new step-family in the later seasons. Now, if there was a problem I had with the series, it would be more in line with the later seasons. I had actually stopped watching Rugrats by the time Dill was introduced into the cast, since to me, the show wasn't the same as it was in the earlier seasons. I felt that the humor in the later seasons seemed to become a bit generic, since the later episodes seemed to have lost the surreal and dreamlike atmosphere that was present in the earlier seasons. And since I stopped watching Rugrats when Dill was introduced, I can't really say too much about the Dill and Kimmy episodes, even though I saw a few of the Dill episodes and it was more of the same thing with the 1997 and 98 episodes. I think the reason why the later episodes seemed to have lost that creative flair it had in the earlier episodes was because Paul Germain, who was the co-creator of the show, left the show to work on Recess, after Rugrats was originally canceled in 1984 due to Nickelodeon's rule about each show having a 65-episode limit to prevent a show from going stale. Rugrats was then officially uncanceled in 1997 due to receiving high ratings when it went through reruns during 1995 and 1996. To be honest, though, the later seasons of Rugrats wasn't as bad as some of the later seasons of some shows I've seen, but it was hard getting interested in the show after all the changes were being made to the situations and the characters. Rugrats ran for 9 seasons with a total of 172 episodes, making it the longest-running Nicktoon to premiere during the 90s. Overall, I'm giving Rugrats a thumbs up. Would I actually put down the show because of the later seasons? Definitely not. This was a fantastic show that really delved into seeing the world from a child's perspective and be able to present it in an entertaining way that both adults and kids can easily relate to. I would highly recommend the series to fans of the cartoon shows that gives the viewer an interesting insight into the world from a child's perspective. Now, before I wrap up this review, I would like to ask you all a question. Where do you think that Rugrats should have ended? Should it have ended after it was originally canceled in 1994? Ended after the first movie, the Rugrats movie? Or do you think it should have ended after the All Grown Up special? I personally think it should have ended after the All Grown Up special because, to me, it provided sort of closure on the Rugrats experience as children as they are thinking about what they would be like if they grow up. So what's your opinion on this? Please feel free to comment below. Well, that's my TV show review on Rugrats, and be sure to tune in for more of my TV show reviews in the future. This is Rabbitearsblog, and I'll see you later.